Before you move your family to St.Albert, can we chat for a couple of minutes? I know moving is exciting, but if you're anything like most families I talk to, it's a little overwhelming. You've probably spent hours on realtor.ca, maybe Zillow. You've watched YouTube videos, read Facebook posts, asked friends, and somehow everyone has a different opinion. If that's where you're at right now, I'm really glad you found this video. Because today, I don't want to sell you a house. I want to help you make a really good decision for your family. Hi, I'm Lee. I've called St.Albert home since I was 13 years old. I've raised 2 daughters here, and now I help other families decide if this is the right place to call home. So, grab your coffee or your tea, and let's talk about what it's really like to live here. You know what? One thing I see over and over again is that people think they're looking for a house. But after helping so many families, I've learned they're really looking for a place where life feels right. A place where they can picture raising their kids. A place that feels like home. I understand that. My parents made the same decision years ago when they moved our family here from Ontario. I thought we were just moving to a different house. But looking back, my parents were really looking for a community. A place where they could raise their family. A place where we'd make friends. A place where we'd go to school. A place where we'd grow up. And without realizing it, they found exactly that. Now, years later, I get to help families make that decision. And honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of my job because every family is looking for something a little different. If a family has young kids, I pay attention to what's important to them. Maybe it's having a great playground just around the corner. Maybe a bike trail where they can ride together after dinner. Maybe it's being able to walk to school or having a quiet street where kids can play. Whatever matters most to your family. That's where we start. Not the house, your life. Because here's the truth. You don't build a life inside the 4 walls. You build it in little moments that happen around them. And that's exactly what I want to show you next. Let's forget about houses for a moment. Instead, I want you to picture this. It's 6 months from now. The boxes are unpacked. The kids know exactly where everything is. School has started. Life is finally starting to feel normal again. Maybe your mornings start with a coffee. Maybe your evenings end with a walk around the neighborhood. And maybe in the summer, Saturday mornings become trips to the St.Albert Farmers Market with your family. These little moments become your life. You know what? For me, it's grabbing a chai tea latte in the morning, and later in the day, it's heading out for a walk with Coco and Bowie. Those simple moments become some of my favorite parts of living here. And that's exactly why I always tell families, don't just picture the house, picture the life you build around it. Because here's something I've learned. The homes people remember aren't always the biggest ones. They're the ones where life happened, where the birthday parties were celebrated, where homework was done at the kitchen island, where backpacks landed at the front door after school, where the dog was always waiting to greet you, where summer evenings turned into walks around the neighborhood. Those are memories your kids will remember, not the square footage. And I think that's why moving can feel so overwhelming at times. You're not just choosing a house, you're choosing the background for your family's everyday life. Before you make that decision, I think there's something really important we should talk about. Can I be honest with you? I love St.Albert. I've lived here for most of my life. I've raised my family here. And I generally think it's an incredible place to call home. But I don't think it's the right place for everyone. And I think that's important to say that. Every family is different. What feels like the perfect community for one family might not feel right for another. And that's okay. Some families want to be closer to downtown Edmonton. Some want a shorter commute. Some want to be able to walk to parks and trails in the evening. Some want their kids to grow up riding their bikes around the neighborhood. There's no right answer. There's only the right answer for your family. And that's why I spend so much time asking questions before we've ever looked at houses. Because once I understand what's important to your family, finding the right neighborhood becomes so much easier. My job isn't to convince you to move to St.Albert. My job is to help you make the right decision for your family. Because honestly, I'd much rather see you end up in the right community than feel like I've talked you into the wrong one. Sometimes that community is St. Albert. Other times, after we've talked about your commute, your lifestyle, or what your family needs, Edmonton actually makes more sense. And that's okay, because the goal was never to convince you. The goal has always been to help you make the best decision for your family. You know what? There's one mistake I see families make over and over again. They fall in love with the house before they think about life they'll actually have there. And I completely understand why. Buying a house is exciting. You start picturing the kitchen, the backyard, the bonus room, where the Christmas tree will go. Because here's the thing, the house is where you live. The life you build there, that's what you'll remember. And that's why when I help a family move here, I don't just ask what kind of house they're looking for. I want to know what matters to them. If they have younger kids, maybe being close to a park is important. Maybe they want trails where the kids can ride their bikes. Maybe it's commute, school, activities, or just having everyday things close by. It's always about figuring out what matters to their family. And one question I like to ask is, what does your best ordinary day look like? Not your dream vacation, not your Christmas morning, just an ordinary Tuesday. Are the kids riding their bikes after dinner? Are they walking the dog, meeting friends at the park, stopping for a coffee on the way home, watching your kids run towards the park because they can't wait to get there? These are the little things that become your life. And once you know what your best ordinary day looks like, finding the right neighborhood becomes so much easier. Because you're not just choosing where you live, you're choosing how you want to live. And that's why I always say, don't choose the house first, choose your life first. And everything else will get easier after that. Before you go, there's one thing I want you to leave with. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, that's completely normal. Moving your family is a big decision. And you don't have to have all the answers today. You just have to take the next step. One conversation, one question, one decision at a time. That's exactly why I created this series, because I want you to feel like you have someone walking alongside you through this process. Not someone trying to rush you, not someone trying to sell you, just someone helping you make confident decisions for your family. Before you start comparing homes, before you start booking showings, I think there's one really important question you need to ask first. Should your family move to St.Albert or Edmonton? They're both fantastic places to live, but they're very different. And choosing the right one can completely change what every day looks like for your family. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through the big differences between living in St.Albert and Edmonton. We'll talk about neighborhoods, commutes, lifestyles, and how to figure out which one is a better fit for your family. So if you're still deciding where you want to put down roots, I'll see you in the next video.